What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda. I know I said I was having a day off, but football news moves fast and sometimes these plans get thrown to the wayside. So I'm going to kick the can down the road and have my day off on Sunday. But there is a lot that has happened over the last 24 hours that we've got to talk about. Some of it you're going to like the sound of, some of it you're not going to like the sound of. So bear with me as we work through it this evening. Again, thank you guys for joining me. Just one quick thank you to Martin Pickering. Thank you, buddy, for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate that. So, yeah, the news doesn't take a day off. Exactly as Martin said in the chat there. I react to what happens, and I'm always here. If something pops up, I need to come on and talk about it. So that's the joys of being self-employed, right? I get to work as much as I want, or as little as I want, but in this case, as much. So, there is a load to get through tonight. We're going to be talking about three main topics, really. The Liverpool managerial situation, which will be Arne Slot, and that will happen soon. We're going to talk about Darwin Nunez attracting interest from Barcelona and elsewhere. And we're going to talk about Alisson Becker a little bit as well, because there's some potentially worrying developments happening, or at least starting to do the rounds around Alisson's situation. And we're going to talk about that as well. Anything else that you guys would like us to discuss, as always, let us know in the comment section and we'll get to it. Right, so where do we want to go? I guess we start off with where we're at with the Arne Slot situation. Basically, it's very, very close to Liverpool and Feyenoord reaching a compensation agreement. Melissa Reddy and many other journalists saying that will probably be happening very soon. I don't know when we're going to get an announcement that an agreement has been reached, but at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to say that the next Liverpool manager is going to be Feyenoord's Arne Slot, and he will be the gaffer taking over from Jurgen at the end of the season. I'll take you through what the media is saying. Of course, ask you guys for your opinion on it as well. And this is a democracy, so let us know if there's any insight you guys have or anything in particular you'd like me to go with. So, let's start off with some words from Melissa Reddy, who said, Arne, this is really interesting, by the way, because one thing I've seen labelled at us Liverpool fans, from opposition fans mainly over the past few days, has been that we've been rejected left, right and centre. First of all, it was Xabi Alonso, then we were rejected apparently by Ruben Amorim over money, all of it untrue. So Melissa Reddy has said, Arne Slot was on Liverpool's list from the start. As they started doing more due diligence, he ended up topping the list. So no second places here. Arne Slot was marked out as the best communicator and the best connector out of the candidates, again from Melissa Reddy. So there we are. It seems like he was always the guy, and the media and us, we definitely include ourselves in that, we're just doing our best to try and figure out what was going on. More quotes here from Melissa Reddy, who said, Ruben Amorim was never the preferred candidate for Liverpool. Ruben Amorim did tick several requirements, but his playing approach, particularly using three at the back, and long-term vision did not fit the current squad, nor the philosophy implemented through all the age groups at Liverpool. So that's why he wasn't earmarked as the main candidate. He was earmarked as the contender, shall we say. But it looks like Arne Slot ticked all those boxes, and obviously he's very enthusiastic about the prospect of becoming Liverpool manager. You've seen him probably interviewing with ESPN before and after their game the other night, which they won. So yeah, it looks like Slot will be a done deal very, very soon. Jurgen has been speaking a little bit about... Oh no, sorry, this isn't about Jurgen. Sorry, this is Arne Slot speaking. And he said, I have the impression that a good offer has already been made. And it seems that Feyenoord is already going to make the highest paid Dutch transfer fee for a coach. And somewhere I still have the idea that I've performed so well in recent years, earning so much that Feyenoord is thinking along those lines. I don't wish is the right word. I don't know if wish is the right word when you know the amounts involved. Wishing is when you have a clause in your contract and that's the maximum they are willing to pay. Then you can talk about wishing. Now it's just hard bargaining, which is everybody's right, but I absolutely believe they will reach an agreement. That is Arne Slot speaking directly himself. So, how are we feeling? Craig, I think Slot smirking even more than Klopp. I don't mind anybody smirking. It's when we're losing and people are smirking that I get annoyed. Smirking's fine in small doses if we're winning. Another one from Melissa Reddy. Suggestions that Ruben Amorim was overlooked because of financial reasons are fiction. He made the shortlist, but Slot was viewed as the better footballing fit, and his playing approach with Liverpool's marrying well. So there you go. What's this on WhatsApp? 1 second. So now it is being reported. 1 second. One moment at a time. So this is breaking, and it says Liverpool and Feyenoord have reached a verbal agreement over the appointment of Arne Slot. That was posted by Anfield Sector, and they quoted somebody else on that. Liverpool and Feyenoord have reached an agreement over the signing of Arne Slot. Arne Slot is wild about Somerville from Leeds, which I spoke to you guys about yesterday. So look, there's a load to get through. So now we can see an agreement has been reached verbally between Liverpool and Feyenoord over the compensation for Arne Slot, which is paving the way for him to become the next Liverpool coach. So I think maybe we can even change the title of this stream. 1 second. 1 sec, lads. I think we can probably change the title of this stream now, Crosby, a little bit to breaking news. So yes, there we go. We do now have a verbal agreement in place. We know that Arne Slot wants the job. He said so himself. The last stumbling block was that compensation agreement that Liverpool and Feyenoord have to reach. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you will soon have your next Liverpool manager. And I did warn you guys as well. A lot of people were underwhelmed when I talked about Leeds United Somerville. But again, it is being quoted here as Slot having a very firm interest in the young player. So I don't know if that'll mean he'll come to Liverpool or not, but I did mention him yesterday as one to keep an eye on. So there you go. I know people think that I'm just a bald idiot and don't have any information. If I do have information, I bring it to you. If I don't, I'm not afraid to say I don't know. On this one, over the last 24 hours, it became clear very quickly that Arne Slot was going to be that guy. And that's no breaking news from me. That's been everywhere. So how are we feeling? How are things, Craig? Said Alex Macklin. I'm good, mate. I'm happier now that we're getting some clarity. Obviously still processing the whole Jurgen Klopp departing thing, but right now, yeah, I'm feeling happy. We know who the next manager is going to be. We know what type of football and philosophy he has. I've already started to do out my notes for the Arne Slot Everything You Need to Know video, so I'm hoping to record that soon. I will go through some of those notes on the stream tonight for you, though, just so you can get a flavour of what Arne Slot is about, what his coaching career has been up to this day, and we'll do a little bit of a tactical talk as well at some point. Sean Abraham says Somerville lol. Why is it lol? Why is it lol? Tell me this. Why is it lol? How many times do we do this as football fans? See players come through with other clubs, smaller clubs, and then go lol, only for them to come and do really well. For an example, Kevin De Bruyne was sold by Chelsea and went to Wolfsburg, lol. He was bought by Manchester City, didn't work out too bad. Mohamed Salah was sold by Chelsea, lol. He was signed by Liverpool eventually, didn't work out too bad. So I would say leave the transfers to those who have all the details in front of them, who know the stats, who know the analytics, who follow the player, who've looked into the player. I think it's fair to say that they'll have a better idea of this than us fans, lol. Never heard of Arne Slot. That's okay, Tammy. You know, we don't all have to pretend that we're all footballing experts here, my friend. I've always heard of Arne Slot, but I didn't know that much about him in all honesty. All I knew until about 3 or 4 days ago about Arne Slot was that he turned down the Leeds job, he turned down the Spurs job, and he turned down some advances from Chelsea previously as well. But when the Liverpool job was presented towards him, he jumped at the opportunity of taking it on. What you need to know about him, I will give you a bit of an insight on now in a second. I've been busy chopping this up from little bits and pieces, some of it from Wikipedia, some of it from elsewhere, but I guess it's all relevant information, right? So this is what we need to know about Liverpool's next manager. His full name is Arne Martin Slot. He was born 17th of September 1978, making him 45 years of age and a little bit older than yours truly. His current team, of course, is Feyenoord. In his playing days, he was a midfielder and he stands at 6 foot tall. Not that that really makes any difference for a coach. With his senior career, he played for FC Zwolle, where he made 164 appearances, scoring 50 goals. Then NAC Breda, where he played 142 times, scoring 21 goals. Sparta Rotterdam was next up, 54 appearances, 6 goals. 2009-2010, he went to FC Zwolle, where he made 28 appearances and scored 7 goals. And then he finished up his playing days in 2013, again on a full-time move, this time to PEC Zwolle, with 74 appearances and 16 goals. His managerial career stands as this: 2016-2017, he was at Cambuur, then he became AZ Alkmaar's coach, and now with Feyenoord. So, after retiring from playing in 2013 at PEC Zwolle, Slot moved onto the club's staff, working with as a youth coach for a year before being appointed as an assistant coach to Henk de Jong at Cambuur. De Jong left the club in 2016, and Arne Slot then stayed on as an assistant coach to Marcel Keizer and Rob Maas. Then in October 2016, Slot became the interim coach along with Spike Hulshoff, who is now his assistant. Slot and Hulshoff helped Cambuur climb to 14th, from 14th to 3rd place in the league, missing out on promotion to the Eredivisie after losing a playoff, and they also made their way to the semi-finals of the Dutch Cup for the first time in their history. When he went to AZ Alkmaar, it was a relatively short stint there, but in 2017, he left Cambuur to work with AZ Alkmaar as an assistant to Jan van der Brom. Whilst there, he guided AZ Alkmaar to a 3rd and 4th place finish in 2018 and 2019, as well as reaching the final of the Dutch Cup. In December 2018, Slot succeeded Van der Brom as the head coach, and in his first season, he reached the quarter-final of the Europa League and finished second in the league to Ajax in goal difference after the season was curtailed because of the COVID pandemic. Nobody was awarded the league title, but they were second in goal difference behind Ajax at that time. And then in a bit of a shock, he was fired. He was fired in December 2020 by AZ Alkmaar because it emerged that he was negotiating to become the next coach of Feyenoord. Shortly after he was fired, he was announced that he would be joining Feyenoord as their coach for the 2021-22 season. In his first season at Feyenoord, he reached the final of the Europa Conference League, losing 1-0 to Jose Mourinho's Roma. They then extended his contract by triggering a clause in it that extended it to 2024, and they finished the season in 3rd place. Slot was named the league's Manager of the Year, and after such a strong season, the club moved to tie him down to an even longer deal, and he signed a deal up until 2025. During the 2022-23 campaign, Feyenoord progressed to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, beating Shakhtar Donetsk 7-1 in a round of 16 game. The disappointment of being knocked out of Europe was soon forgotten though, as Feyenoord went on to win the league title, their first since 2017 and their 16th in their history. Slot was named the league's Manager of the Year for a second successive season. The 2023-24 season seen Feyenoord up to 3rd in their Champions League group, a group which featured Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic. They then dropped into the Europa League, where they were eliminated by Roma for the 3rd year in a row. Imagine that. Roma knocking them out 3 years in a row in different competitions. And that disappointment was short-lived because they went on recently to win the Dutch Cup, and they're about to finish second in the Eredivisie to PSV Eindhoven, who are just about to win the league. So that's where we are with Arne Slot. So that's as much as I know at this moment from a bit of research. We're still looking into the tactical side of things, and I'll bring you that video over the weekend most likely. Right. What about a swap deal of Nunez and 30 million for Isak from Newcastle? I mean, we throw these swap deals around like they're of interest. Like, if Newcastle were to sell Isak, I would imagine that they have their own targets that they feel like there's better value in. They're not going to want to have a striker who's already been sold for 100 million coming in. So I doubt that's possible, to be honest with you. What's the Nunez news? One thing at a time, my friends. I can't go through the whole manager system. I can't do the news in 2 minutes. You know, we've a long time, so sit back, relax, and we'll get to all the news. Right, another post coming in now. Yeah, we've gone through all this. So yes, we can confirm that a verbal agreement's been reached with Feyenoord. So Arne Slot is going to become the new manager. That's where we're at right now. So I guess I want to know, are you happy about Arne Slot becoming the new coach? Craig, it's just you, stop lying. Well, I didn't want to say it, you know. I have signed an agreement to become the next Liverpool manager, yes. I should do a press conference right now, shouldn't I? I wish I was getting that much money. Right, here we go. Fabrizio Romano said, breaking, Arne Slot will be the new Liverpool head coach, replacing Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. Agreement sealed on compensation between Feyenoord and Liverpool, and also on a contract detail for Slot as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, Arne Slot will be your new coach. And I want to know, are you happy about that? So let's get a poll up. And look, this is a moving story, so we're going to keep updating as we go along. I love when this happens on streams, by the way. I said to Connor yesterday, I bet you we're not going to get to take the day off today, because I've got a feeling news is going to break. And this is always the case. This is why you can't really plan days off in our industry. One sec, let me just get this poll up. Okay, right, so simple question. Are you happy with Arne Slot? Yay or nay? Now look, don't be afraid to say I don't know anything about him. That's absolutely sound. Nobody's expecting us all to be footballing geniuses here. You know, I knew of him until this week, as I said. I knew of him because I knew he was interviewed and turned down the Spurs job. I knew that he was Feyenoord manager, but that's about it for me. You know, I'm playing catch up on the tactical side of these things, but we've got the here we go. We've got the news. Arne Slot will be the next Liverpool coach, and it's up to you guys to let me know if you're happy or not. Slot is the manager and Craig is the number 2. Now, I'm happy here. I'll just take care of the fan channel, and hopefully Slot can bring us many happy days, happy results, and many happy streams to come. I don't know about him, but I want him. See, that was me the other day. It's a Manny. I said this to my friends the other day. I said, I don't know all that much about Arne Slot, but over the last 24 hours, I've already talked myself into him being the greatest coach that ever coached the game of football. So I'm ready to fall in love all over again, ladies and gentlemen. Boxed Will said, bit of a gamble. It is, mate. It is. You know, there's no denying it. The jump up from the Eredivisie to the Prem is a big jump up. The jump up from Feyenoord to Liverpool Football Club is a big jump up. But I've said all along that I trust the process, that I trust Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes to get this right, and it looks like that they've gotten their man. So after that, it's what can we do? Get behind the manager and look forward to, I guess, whatever the future has in store. Stevie Boy, thank you for the super chat, mate. Very kind of you. Said, I'm happy with the appointment, but FSG need to back him big time. Yes. 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 Forever yes. They do. There's no being cheap now. And this is a subject I was going to move on to talk about, by the way. But yes, the owners do have to back him. Because it's one thing saying that he overachieved with a smaller budget, and that's grand and all that. But now we're at the big boy table. We're back in the Champions League. And we've started to see some deficiencies pop up in the squad over the last campaign. And we've a load to talk through about our squad over the next, I don't know, hour and a half or so. So we'll go through it as much as we can. You guys feel free to try and steer the conversation by letting me know which direction you want to talk about. And we'll try and get through all these things one at a time. We'll talk about Slot. We'll talk about Alisson. We'll talk about Darwin. And we'll cover everything that we need to cover. Don't you worry. He looks like you. Oh, I know. I know, mate. There's already been plenty of memes and jokes doing the round about me and Arne Slot. And I'm fine with it. You know, my fellow bald brethren, absolutely fine with that. Do you think he'll bring new boys in? When you say new boys, Daniel, do you mean backroom staff? Do you mean players? Because I think the answer to both is going to be yes. You know, there was a quote from Ryan Babel who said that as far as he's aware, about 40 staff are set to depart Anfield in the summer. Now, that can be all the way through from, you know, nutritionists, sports scientists, kitchen staff, all the way right up. And the honest answer is right now, I don't know. I don't know how many personnel are going to leave, how many he's going to bring in. Also, they have to agree a fee with Feyenoord for the backroom staff as well. So we do know his assistant coach looks like he's coming in. That's one bit of news that we did see earlier on today. Liam said, and I agree with this 100%, Liam, my friend, said Ten Hag comparisons need to stop. Only similarity is being Dutch. Slot is personable, charismatic, and plays our style. Ten Hag is boring and miserable. Liam, if I was there with you, mate, I'd give you a hug, because I agree with every word you've written. He is. We're going to enjoy Arne Slot as a character and hopefully the football, because he does play a similar to an extent brand of football. There are some similarities, and then there are some, let's say, Guardiola type implementations in Slot's character in the way that he sets up his teams. But first and foremost, the very basic of it is expect something like a 4-2-3-1 or a variable of a 4-3-3. His preferred system at Feyenoord has been a 4-2-3-1. And personally, for me, I think a 4-2-3-1 is probably the best system for the players that we currently have at the club. So I'm really excited to see it. Craig, Slot or Amarim, be honest. I would have been happy with either, Daniel. I'm not going to backtrack and say I wouldn't have been happy with Ruben Amarim. I would. But I said this yesterday as well. Once you hear all the reasons laid out as to why Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes have come with the answer of Arne Slot, it makes a lot of sense to me. Very personable, as Liam said in his message there. Very good with the media. He has that if factor about him. His coaching philosophy and the way he likes to play football. He's a very attack-minded coach, so we expect some exciting football. But look, I'm not going to lie, mate. I would have been happy with Amarim as well. Would have been happy with Xabi Alonso. But the new gaffer is going to be Arne Slot, so let's get behind him. The Athletic are saying the compensation is 9 million. I'm not sure of the number, Alex. I'd seen a report yesterday that number was turned down, but as of right now, I'm not sure of the exact number. I don't mean this to be rude to you, mate. I don't care what the number is. I'm just happy that they got the one they wanted. And that's what we said all along in this. I just want the club to get the manager that they want. And what we've learned today from Melissa Reddy, who's reporting around this, has been nothing short of fantastic, is that Liverpool did get the man that they wanted. And that there was no fallout with Ruben Amarim over money because he was never the number one target. You know, the media reported things, we hear things, report things. Everybody was kind of guessing. But very quickly, when the Ruben Amarim, should we say, little jolly over to West Ham, once that happened, Liverpool very quickly acted then to show no, it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be Arne Slot. And look how quickly this has developed since. I hope the manager announcement tonight motivates the players on the pitch tomorrow, said Tanya Connor. Harry, how are you, my man? Harry, you're always so generous with the super chats, mate. Every single stream, bro. Appreciate you. Does our Salah replacement need to be a superstar like Wirtz, or do you think Edwards can find another unknown gem? You worried about the second option? So, I am somewhat worried about transfers. I can't lie about that. I am. I'm a little bit concerned about them because we know how cheap our owners are. I can't get away from that. Do I think if we sell Salah, we're going to see us go out there and bring in a known quantity? Somebody who, you know, we've heard about and would come in and do a great job? Probably not. But there is one story that's kind of been, how do I say this without... There's been whispers about Alisson. So I've been told by more than one person today that the Alisson situation is one to keep an eye on. You know, we'd all seen that the house went up for sale. We'd all seen the conjecture around that, and I said to you, I don't know. But today, for the first time, I did hear a couple of things that suggested that maybe Alisson Becker could be looking for a way out. Now, again, don't take this as gospel, because I don't know. All I'm saying is what the chatter is. So, there is a bit of chatter. There's a bit of chatter, and if you start looking around Europe, where could he possibly go if he does want to leave Liverpool? All I can think of would be Real Madrid if they decide that they want to move on from Courtois. But again, I'd be guessing. Now, what I would say is, and this is just in my head, if we indeed did lose Alisson, and I don't want it to happen, I got to put that out there very, very clearly. I do not want Liverpool to lose Alisson Becker in any way, shape or form. I love him and I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. So my view is, please stay. But if Alisson decided that he wanted to move on, then if Real Madrid wanted him, and again we're talking big hypotheticals here, well then I'd be looking to get Rodrigo if I was Liverpool. But again, that's me playing fantasy manager. Scotty said, what's the Alisson situation? Just going through it now, bud. Just going through it now. So there was also posts about this on social media, and I'm going to bring you some of those posts in a minute around. Here's one. So Graham Kelly was posting, and he was replying to somebody who said Kelleher hasn't been moved on for a very good reason. That was Gagan Impressive was the name of that account. That was answered by Graham Kelly, who said, "Be grim if Ali does want out, but hearing too much around it not to have some substance to it." I don't know, but there's a lot to unpack there. If he does move on, I guess we have to have a conversation about, is Kelleher the guy? I think yes, but, you know, again, I'll leave that up to you guys to make your own decision. What will his lineup look like with the current squad, said Nessie. And I cannot wait for Total Football, said Alex Alvarado. JC, I haven't missed your super chat, bro. I'm going to get to it in a second. Don't worry, I'm just working my way through them here. What will the current lineup look like? Right, this would be my best guess at one, Nessie, under Arne Slot with the current players. Now, bear in mind, some of these may move on. But right now, I go in a 4-2-3-1 system. Bradley on the right, Robertson on the left if he stays. In the centre-back positions, probably go Jarell Quansah and Virgil van Dijk. In the midfield positions, McAllister and Trent would be the two that I put in the two holding roles. Although I'd like to see us bring somebody in to fulfill that role differently. But for now, I'd say McAllister and Trent. And then behind the striker, probably Gakpo, Diaz left, Salah right, and then Jota through the middle. That would be my guess at a 4-2-3-1. JC said, how much money do you think we should have in the kiddie, considering the Caicedo money and not buying in January, and the Champions League money, potential sale of players? So, on the Caicedo part, after that deal didn't happen, we did spend 18.5 million on Endo, and we did drop 40 million on Gravenberch. So we have spent some money after that, but I don't think we've solved the problem in that position myself, JC. So yeah, I think there's still a bit of work to do there. Rodrigo's on the move anyway, with Mbappe and Endrick being signed. That's kind of my thinking, Moon. That's kind of my thinking. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking. That if that was the case and they did come in for Alisson, then there you go. Would you try to get Lee Gunner on TOTL? I don't know. I haven't spoken to Lee. I've messaged them, but we haven't had a direct phone call in a while. But I've been messaging them back and forth. I haven't honestly got the time to think about top of the league at the minute because it's so incredibly busy with Anfield Agenda and behind the scenes stuff. Did you just say Nunez up top, you donut? Yeah, you're gone. What? Look, I'm going to talk about Darwin Nunez in a while, by the way. And we're going to talk about why he may be going, or why Liverpool may feel like it's time to make a change there. Now, I don't know the answer, but he's been linked with Barcelona today. If Alisson does get sold, how much would we want? It's a good question. I feel like I'd want 70 upwards for Alisson Becker. I feel like 70 upwards is fair if you take into account his age. But I've no idea. I've no idea the exact number because we don't know 100% what's going on. But as I said, there are enough murmurings to think, you know, is there any real problems there? I don't know. So for me, I think about 70 million upwards would be where I'd be looking for. And on Darwin, because I did say I wanted to talk about Darwin, and I feel like I'm flying through all this, and I'm going to go back to Arne Slot in a bit, because there's still a lot to unpack about Arne Slot. So on Darwin, I was reading a couple of things on The Athletic, and they say Opta's expected goals metric shows a player in Darwin who in his 4 seasons playing in the top flight in football in Europe has struggled to convert chances on a consistent basis. In all but one of the 4 campaigns, which was his second one at Benfica, his goal return has fallen some distance short of his expected goals. Liverpool signed him on the back of that 21-22 season in which he scored 26 goals for Benfica from an XG of 18.4. That is an enormously impressive return, but it remains a distinct outlier in his career. Over his 2 seasons in the Premier League, he has scored 20 goals from an XG of 27.8. So he's underperforming the XG by 7.8 goals there. Using Opta's data, Nunez has missed no fewer than 46 big chances in the Premier League since joining Liverpool in the summer of 22. So, as you can see, he's been very wasteful. But you didn't need Opta's data to tell you that. You knew that yourselves. But look, there's a lot here that's freaking me out. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. There's a lot that's freaking me out. Because there's too much change being talked about here for my liking. You're talking about Salah. You're talking about Darwin. You're talking about Alisson. That's before we have the Diaz conversation. That's before we look at fringe players that could be moved on. Let's put the brakes on here a little bit. Because we don't know how realistic all of these stories are. We don't. The only one that I feel confident about is the Salah one. Because of the contract situation. We'll get to a poll on Darwin in a minute, because I know a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions on it. But we did ask you at the start of the stream, and we've had 2,000 votes on it now. Are you happy with Liverpool's decision to go with Arne Slot as the next manager? And with the votes coming up to just shy of 2,000, and I'll even get to 2,000 before we end this, 78% of you guys, 78% say yes, you are indeed happy with Arne Slot as the next Liverpool coach. How are things, Craig? Excited about Arne? Is your wife getting on as a 5-hour? She had to stop, Alex. I explained it the other night, mate. Basically, the physicality of it was a little bit too much, and she's got to go away, work, and do some work with a personal trainer, work on her core strength, and try and go back and do it again in a few months' time. So that's the short answer anyway, mate. But I always appreciate you asking. Thank you. Harry said, Craig, not really football related, but thank you for everything that you've done for this community. Helped me personally through tough times, up the Reds. Mate, as I've always said, right back at you. It's been the same for me. I would be lost without this community as well. Would you swap Isak for Darwin? Yes, I would. I don't think it's possible. But in your hypothetical situation, yes, I would. So what's the next poll that you got? Do you want me to put a poll up about Darwin? Or would you like me to do you think Alisson's going to leave? Which one of those? Because I'm really interested to hear your opinion on both. Joshua said I missed the super chat. 1 second, mate. Sorry if I did. Let me scroll back up, bro. Right. Do you think Carvalho has a chance next season? The most fair answer I think I can give you, Joshua, is he will get looked at in pre-season. I think the new manager, usually what happens when a new manager comes in, and look, it's been quite a while for us since we've had to have this conversation, but when a new manager comes in, you would imagine he'd come in pre-season and will address and assess all of the squad and go from there. So I think he'll get an opportunity to impress. After that, I don't know what the future might entail. But what I will say about Fabio Carvalho is I do feel like his loan has worked out well at Hull. I think it was a positive loan. Right, my friends. Do hit the subscribe button, by the way. We've nearly got 3,000 people in the chat, so don't forget to drop a like on the stream. If you want Arne Slot to succeed, you've got to hit the like button. You know, that. I heard that every time you hit the like button, Arne Slot will guarantee an extra goal for Liverpool in his tenure. You know, don't shoot the messenger. Is Slot a 100% definite confirmation? Well, look, let me just read this out to you. Fabrizio Romano just posted, well, a couple of moments ago. Arne Slot will be the new Liverpool manager, replacing Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. Agreement sealed on compensation between Feyenoord and Liverpool. All set also on contract details for Slot. Here we go. So, yes, mate, it is confirmed at that point. Now, the club haven't confirmed it, of course, but the journals are definitely confirming it. Paul Joyce has said, Liverpool and Feyenoord have now verbally agreed on a compensation package for Arne Slot. So you've got Joyce and you've got Fabrizio Romano. So, you know, I think we can safely say yes. So, what do we want to do first? Alisson. Let's go with Alisson, I think. Let's ask the question on Alisson. So I'm not going to ask, do you want to get rid of him? I'm going to ask you, do you think he's going to leave? Because I think most of us don't want to get rid of him. You know, I think I can safely say that we don't want to lose Alisson. I certainly don't. I think he's the best keeper in the world. But I think it's going to be a question of, do you think Alisson will go? Right, so I've said, do you think Alisson leaves this summer? Yes or no? And I'll leave that running in the background. I hope Arne plays an offensive and or counter-attacking football. There's Liverpool's signature football. I want to see the red arrows flying. Sorry for my English. Don't apologise, Daniel. I'm more than able to figure out what you were saying, and I appreciate your support, mate. You will not be disappointed in that regard. He does play a very attacking brand of football. Is 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 are the two formations that he utilises, which is one of the reasons why he was looked at. Defensively, I think will become a little bit more solid under Arne Slot, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the brand of football. Idiotic reporting by Craig. I'm not reporting anything, you little moron. Where does any of this say report by Craig? Where's any of this saying I'm saying X, Y, or Z? Don't throw your toys out of the pram at me like a petulant little child just because you don't like the sound of something. Craig told you yesterday Arne Slot was going to be the manager, and guess what? Today, he's going to be the manager. I also told you yesterday to keep an eye on the Somerville situation, and guess what? Today, all of a sudden, the news is going around that he's a big fan of Somerville from Leeds. So, haha, I think my credentials are proven, my little friend. But you, on the other hand, can go back to being whatever the hell it is you are. Weird, mate, weird. I don't understand it. If you want to be negative, go elsewhere. Because we have a lot to get through here tonight, and I have a lot of sincere people that need to work their way through what the hell is happening. And that's what I'm trying to do. I report what the media report. I'm not a journalist. I never claimed to be a journalist. Will Salah be sold next? Again, I can't give you a definitive answer on that. My own feeling is 100% yes. Especially with the Michael Edwards side of it. You know, there's no way Edwards is going to look at the underlying numbers that Mohamed Salah's putting up and think that he's worth a contract extension. He just won't. You know, you can argue about whether that's right or wrong, but there's not a chance that Salah's going to sign a new deal. I mean, I'd be amazed if it happened. Would you rather Liverpool win the treble or Ireland win the World Cup? Ireland win the World Cup. Because Liverpool have many chances to win stuff, bro. But Ireland winning a World Cup, you know, that'll be a once-in-a-generation thing. Mo is a legend, though. Right, but that's not the question. This is what, I won't say annoys me, but this is what confuses me. When we talk about selling Mohamed Salah, or the possibility of it, nobody is trying to undermine what he's achieved. Every single one of us knows that his legacy is secure. Every single one of us knows that Mohamed Salah is an icon. We all know that. That's not up for debate. But that doesn't mean it isn't potentially the right time to sell, based off what we're seeing now, the contract situation, and of course his age. So that's the fairest way I can try to put this. Mo's legacy is secure, without a shadow of a doubt. The dude is an icon, and will always be. But he's not performing at the minute. His contract situation means that a big decision has to be made this summer. That decision will either be extend, let him run his contract down and leave for free in a year's time, or sell. And I think the most likely outcome is that he'll be sold. I also think it's the right decision for what it's worth. Do you think Feyenoord players will come? Honestly, Matthias, I don't know enough about the Feyenoord team to know if there's any of them that's even good enough to come and play for Liverpool. Some people the other day were talking about a Mexican striker. Was it Jimenez or somebody? I don't remember his name. Somebody who plays as striker. But I don't know anything about the Feyenoord team. I don't watch them. So I'm hoping you can help me out there. First time coming to Anfield next week from South Africa, Craig. Liverpool versus Spurs. Will I be around? I won't be at the game, mate. No, I won't be. What a game, though. Enjoy. And I've gone to a couple of Liverpool Spurs games over the years. Always been enjoyable. But yeah, I hope you have a great time. And congratulations, mate. All the way over from South Africa for the game. That's amazing. So happy for you. Let us know how you get on. And I hope you've got a great trip ahead of you. 7-inch destroyer. I mean, take a couple of inches off that, mate. And by a couple, I mean 4. And we could be talking about me here. Congrats with Arne Slot. I hate the guy as an Ajax fan. Very likeable and good coach. He will do well for you guys. Thank you, mate. I'm still playing catch up with regards to what to expect from Mr. Slot. But do you know what? His enthusiasm for the job has definitely put a smile on my face. You know, speaking about how much he wants the role, you can see the excitement in him when he's been spoken to by ESPN and stuff. So yeah, look, it's good. It's never going to be great to lose Jurgen Klopp, but it does feel like it's the right time. And I don't know if we say that because of just the last few weeks, but I've always believed that there's only so long that you can keep motivating people with the same words or with the same person. And Jurgen made the decision. The club didn't make the decision to move on Jurgen. Jurgen himself made the decision. So after that, the club had to find a replacement. You know, we all dreamt of the Xabi Alonso situation. You know, that was the nostalgic choice, absolutely. Then we had the reports, of course, about Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim and his agent reportedly tried to play Liverpool's hand a bit here with a little trip over to West Ham, which they were never going to take that job. Then Liverpool the next day, according to, you know, some reports, just announced, okay, well, we're going with Arne Slot because he's the one who fits the metrics. He's the one that scored highest. He's the one that we've signalled out as the best fit. But there is no denying it's a jump up from the Eredivisie to the Premier League. It is a huge jump up, but he's not afraid of it, and that's important. I said this all the way through. What I don't want is anybody coming into the Liverpool job that doesn't think it's their destiny, that doesn't think they're going to walk through there and grab the situation by the scruff of the neck and turn the club back in the direction we want to be, which is challenging again, like we are in the Premier League, but hopefully seeing the job through, getting back into the Champions League. And I think this dude is ready. He's ready for the step up. Shows the man has some charisma, same as Klopp, said Scuzz. Yes, look, they are big shoes to fill. You know, Jurgen is everything to a lot of us. You know, I cannot put into words, I can't quantify how much I love, respect, admire, and will miss Jurgen Klopp. The whole way this is panning out makes me feel very sad because I wish Jurgen had had a better send-off than this. Yeah, and with regards to results, I mean. Dutch managers in the Premier League go great together. Just ask Frank de Boer, said M. Parker. But that's like I don't understand how you can equate that. It's a bit weird, right? It's like saying an Argentinian was a flop. Juan Sebastian Veron was a flop at Manchester United, so we shouldn't sign any more Argentinians in the Premier League. They're not relatable. Just because somebody's from the same country doesn't mean that they've any of the same characteristics. Very excited. Heard about this guy for a while. Not going to lie, never watched his games, but excited nonetheless from what I'm hearing. His pressing ability as a team is amazing. So, Feyenoord have the highest counter-pressing in the final third in the top 6 leagues in Europe. So they are top of the charts for counter-pressing in the final third, or maybe it's counter-pressing with turnovers in the final third. It's one of those two stats. And second on the list is us. So, yes, similarities are there. And as I said all along, when I started reading through why he was singled out, why Liverpool looked at Slot instead of Amorim, it made sense to me. But nobody, not me, not anybody else can sit here and guarantee you success. It's impossible. But I'm excited. And we have clarity. And that's what I've wanted. I'm happy with Slot's enthusiasm for the job. It's a tough ask coming after a beloved figure like Klopp. I'm backing him, said Rusty Bullet 7. What's the Alisson news? So, there's been a little bit of chatter behind the scenes that Alisson wants to leave. I didn't pay too much attention to it until I seen people whose opinions that I hold in fairly high regard starting to say the same type of thing. You know that his house went up for sale. That conversation's been spoken about before. But now it's starting to sound a little bit like maybe there is some truth to it. Now, I don't know. I'm not sitting here telling you 100% Alisson wants to leave, but I'm telling you that there's conversations about it and that people are talking about it. But I guess the next question that I'm going to ask you is, if Alisson does leave, do you think that Kelleher would be a good enough replacement? So 77% of people think that Alisson Becker will not leave this summer. I very, very much hope you're right, because I don't want him to leave. But I am concerned because of where I'm seeing these conversations coming from. How long is left on Alisson's contract? To the best of my knowledge, it's 2027. Off the top of my head. But I'm happy to be corrected on that. Hi Craig, the stat is most possessions won in the final third since 2021. Love the show. There you go. Thank you, Soren. I knew it was something about the final third and possession won by counter-pressing. So there you go. Yes. I'm excited by it. I'm excited by it. I really am. Not the fact that we look alike, even though he's in far better condition than me, obviously. Watch the 2-1 win versus Atletico to see how Slot plays and compares budgets. We never liked Feyenoord. Frank de Boer, sorry. We never liked Frank de Boer at Ajax, but we were in crisis. He was always poor, said 7-inch Destroyer. And thank you again. Great to have input and insights from fans of the Eredivisie, sorry. Right. So, next question. Do you want me to put the poll up about Darwin? Or do you want me to, let's say, okay, I'm going to go with this one. One second. Going to ask this one. Should Darwin be sold this summer? Because I don't know how sincere these links to Barcelona are. And like all of you, my first question is, how can they afford it? How could Barcelona afford to sign Darwin Nunez? And the only way I could see it potentially being possible is a player exchange. Because I don't see where they get the money from. And if you're looking at Barca and you're thinking about a potential player exchange, I can see a few possible options there that Liverpool could look at if that was the case. But I still don't know where I'm at with Darwin. I said this yesterday and nothing has changed in the last 24 hours. I'm absolutely on the fence. I don't know what the answer is. I know what he's capable of. We've all seen that in little bursts, but we also know how frustrating he is. So, I don't know what the best answer is here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Some people think, no, Craig, it isn't a tough one. Keep him. And I respect your opinion on that. But I don't want to be sitting here next season talking about a new manager coming in and us throwing away points because our forwards are missing chances again. And that's a conversation I don't want to be having next year. Barcelona always seem to find a treasure chest with money each year. I look, Frenkie de Jong is a potential option. I guess if you're looking at somebody who you could maybe try and get out of Barcelona, but isn't Frenkie de Jong on a pretty high wage, if my memory's right? How do I pronounce this name? Ionape? So, apologies about my pronunciation. Star said, I can't lie, this feels like too big of a risk. Slot's results in Europe are below average. No, they're not. Not even a little bit below average. Not at all. Got to the Europa Conference League final. Lost with Roma. Finished third in a group with Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic in the Champions League. And got to the quarter-final with AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League, I believe, as well. So, no, I don't think his European performances are below average at all. I don't think that's true. You can see this Darwin vote is very close. We said, should he be sold this summer? We've nearly had 1,000 votes, and it's 52-48. It's really close. Frenkie de Jong is on 700 grand a week. What? Well, he won't. There's no way Liverpool would be giving him anywhere near that. So that if that was the case, then that's a no-go. Sorry, there's more stuff coming in here, so I'm trying to play catch up with comments and read the notes, because my lads are sending me through updates every couple of moments here. So 1 second. So Pedro Sepulveda is still clinging on to this whole Ruben Amorim story, and he said Ruben Amorim loses to Arne Slot after asking for £10 million signing on fee plus £10 million net per year. Liverpool refused to pay £40 million for 3 years. I don't believe that's the case. I don't. I think he's lying. I do. When Melissa Reddy comes out and says that there was never a preferred candidate to Liverpool went with Arne Slot, I believe her. Because Melissa Reddy is a top-notch journalist, and it's been backed up by other journalists. So I think we've seen Pedro Sepulveda just cling on to a story that he wanted to believe, or maybe he was told. But either way, I don't believe that information to be correct. Another one coming in from Adam Crafton, he said Liverpool are also poaching Sipke Hulshoff, the assistant coach at Feyenoord, as well as Ruben Peters, their head of performance. So I did tell you they wouldn't be able to bring in everybody from the team at Feyenoord because Feyenoord don't want their whole system ripped up. But it does look like his assistant manager and what was the other position they were filling? The head of performance are coming with them. So, Tom, thank you for your super chat, mate. You're very kind. I think Darwin is unfairly treated by the British media. If half his shots went in, they would think he was Haaland. But they didn't. You can't praise somebody hypothetically. You can only work off what we've seen. And I'm going to go back to the numbers that I brought you earlier on from The Athletic. Again, I'm going to read this out, and this is about Darwin Nunez. Opta's expected goals, their XG metric, shows a player who, in his 4 seasons playing in the top flight in Europe, has struggled to convert chances on a consistent basis. In all but one of those campaigns, which was a second one with Benfica, his goal return has fallen some distance short of XG. Liverpool signed him on the back of the 2021-22 season, in which he scored 26 goals for Benfica from an XG of 18.4, massively overperforming his XG in that one campaign. This is an enormously impressive return, but it remains a distinct outlier in his career. Over his 2 seasons in the Premier League, he has scored 20 goals from an XG of 27.8. So he scored 20 goals when he should have scored 27.8, underperforming by almost 8 goals versus what he did in that best year at Benfica, which was overperforming by almost 8 goals. It doesn't stop there though. Opta's data shows that Nunez has missed no fewer than 46 big chances in the Premier League since joining in the summer of 2022. You know, they're the real numbers, mate. They're stats that are quantified and can't really argue with. So, look, I want Darwin to succeed. I want Darwin to do well, but, you know, it's been a damn frustrating season. I think we should go for Lautaro Martinez and Federico Chiesa in the summer, said Ian. Do you know what? I've got to be honest. I'm not sure about Lautaro Martinez. Sometimes I watch him and I think he's brilliant. Other times I watch him and I think that he's incredibly frustrating. I'd give Nunez one more season, said Calvin Buckley. I wouldn't be against that, Calvin. As I said, I don't have a right answer here. I don't think anybody who thinks Darwin should stay is mad, and I don't think anyone who thinks he should be sold is mad. I think there's credibility on both sides. Let Mo go. His time is up, said Christy. Christy, I agree with you, mate. I guess the question is, where would the options be for Mo right now? Because if Mo wants to stay in Europe, which, by the way, I could absolutely see his thought process if he did, Maybe he doesn't feel like he's finished in Europe at the top level yet. Because if he goes to Saudi, you're going to get a load of money. But let's be honest, you're going there for retirement. Now, interestingly, I seen something on Sky Sports News last night that said that Saudi are going to change up the way that they've been signing players. They're going to change the rules, and they're not going to be signing players towards the end of their careers. They're going to be looking to sign up the best young talent around. So, I don't know what to say about that. I don't think there's anything they can do to make the Saudi Pro League a really, 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 really big league in world football. I just don't think there's any way it'll happen. But I don't know what's going to happen with Mo. Maybe PSG come to the table. I have no idea. Maybe Michael Edwards decides to offer him a new deal. I don't feel comfortable with the situation with Trent, Verge and Mo, that it's gone this late. It makes me on edge. Danielson Granados, thank you for your super chat, my friend, said, I don't know where we go with Darwin. Last year's performance made me love him because even when he missed, he did it spectacularly. These last few weeks, it's just been mediocre, wasteful, no chaos. So Michael Owen was talking about Darwin Nunez, and he brought us back to the goal where, I remember he chipped the keeper. It was beautiful. You're talking about that type of finish, which you see from Darwin, where we're all like, oh my God. And then you see the misses against Everton from 4 yards out, and you're thinking, how is this the same player? It's mind-boggling. Honestly, hearing that Nunes outperformed XG at Benfica has convinced me we shouldn't sell him, give him another manager a shot at him. So the interesting thing there was it was his second season at Benfica, and we have just seen his second season at Liverpool, and it's been up and down, to say the least. Darwin should be given another season, said Righteous Gamer. Slot and his backroom staff might have that master key to unlock his ability. Again, I'm not against it. I don't know what the right answer is here, so I'm happy to just keep reading out your comments and seeing how you guys feel. I'm worried Slot crumbles on the Premier League pressure. Eredivisie doesn't compare. Would have preferred De Zerbi or Pep Linders. Why didn't he want the job? Can't speak to Pep Linders other than saying that he decided himself that he didn't want to be considered. He's been linked with Besiktas, and he was linked with Ajax, but I don't know if Graham Potter's going to take that job as it stands. So it looks like he wants to go and become a head coach somewhere else. I think if Linders had stayed around, it probably just would have felt like a bit more of the same, because Linders is the one who uses a lot of the tactics and sets the tone on the training ground, sets up a lot of the training drills. So, I don't know, maybe the club just felt like a fresh start was needed all around. Give Darwin till January with a new manager, said Tanya Wheatley. Simple, Nunes plays well when the whole team is playing well, not when the team's struggling. Well, I don't know how that's simple. Shouldn't you want your best players to be performing when those around them aren't as well? If you're talking about standout players, they're usually the ones who can win you a game even when the team's playing crap. Like a De Bruyne who pulls something out of the bag, or a Salah who pulls something out of the bag. We're not seeing that. We're seeing when we struggle, Darwin struggles. When we're good, he can be a mixed bag. Randall, nice to see you in, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Slot could give our players amazing motivation, said Harry James. Do you mind giving me an update on the Arne Slot situation, said Liul Abdi. No problem, my friend. So look, it's moving quickly. We came on here tonight and we were going to be talking about lots of journalists saying that Liverpool have identified Arne Slot as the guy. We knew that they were talking with Feyenoord about compensation, but we eventually got the big news that we'd waited for. The first that came through on my side was from Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio Romano posted to say, breaking, Arne Slot will be the new Liverpool head coach, replacing Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. Agreement sealed on compensation between Feyenoord and Liverpool. All set. Also contract details sorted for Slot. Here we go. Then we had Chris Bascom say there are suggestions that Liverpool will pay about £9 million to Feyenoord for Arne Slot. Then we talked from Adam Crafton, who said Liverpool are also poaching Sipke Hulshoff, the assistant coach of Feyenoord, as well as Ruben Peters, their head of performance. Paul Joyce then said compensation will be €9 million plus €2 million in add-ons. So, done. That's where we're at. Florian Plettenberg just tweeted something though about Florian Wirtz. He said, Florian Wirtz, top target for Bayern in 2025 as he will stay at Leverkusen for one more season. No surprises there. We did talk about the fact that they were looking to keep that team together. What else have we got in here? Where was the one from Paul Joyce? 1 second. Yes, this one from Paul Joyce said, Liverpool and Feyenoord have now verbally agreed a compensation package for Arne Slot, and as we said, €9 million plus €2 million in add-ons. Right, Ace and Tino. Why are people so quick to pan the hire? Just support the coach. Let Slot pick his machine. Thank you, Craig, for making the day a bit better. Oh, mate, I was sitting around all day today. The reason I couldn't put out a video earlier is because we need notifications for tomorrow. So I knew I had one notification that I could use today, and I wanted it to be for the news stream at 8:30. So, of course, we will be live for tomorrow for the watch along and all that. But, yeah, I was sitting on news all day today that I was dying to come on and talk about. And I agree with you. I don't know why people are writing them off. I don't know. You know, I understand people's fear. It's a risk. It's a big appointment. Coming after Jurgen Klopp, it is. It's a daunting prospect, and there's going to be a lot of change, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want to give him a chance. Same as any other coach coming in. You surely want to give these guys a chance. Has anyone mentioned Sadio Mane scored 33 goals in his first 2 seasons, same as Darwin? He needs a psychologist to calm his mind, so he might act calmly. Sadio Mane wasn't playing as Liverpool's main striker, though. Let's put that out there as well. And I don't know what Sadio Mane's conversion rate or his XG was comparable to Darwin. So, look, there's a reason why I a lot of the time don't use stats and leave it to the likes of the Athletic or the Tompkins Times, because they know what they're talking about. I don't mind reading out other people's stats they've researched, but it's a very tricky thing to implement and talk about stats correctly, because some things just aren't comparable or quantifiable, and I don't know. You know, you can talk about the same number of goals as you've said there, but I don't know what the XG would have been, or how many chances Mane had, or how many he missed. Has Klopp under or overachieved? On par or unlucky? Ooh, good question. Has Klopp over or underachieved? I'm going to say overachieved. But I also feel like there was trophies left on the table, but I feel like that was down to the owners not backing him enough. So for me, I think Jurgen Klopp did remarkably well to compete with Manchester City, as well as we have done with the resources that our owners have given to him. So I think overachieved. But I also still weirdly feel like there were some trophies that we could have probably taken as well. Some more trophies. Ahmed, thank you very much. Ahmed Al Khalifa said, some fans forget that we're not a stepping stone for players. Sure, they should be given some time to find form, but 2 seasons is more than enough for Darwin. We're a top club and demand players to be professional and deliver. I mean, I'm a kind of a ruthless person around these type of things, Ahmed, so I appreciate where you're coming from. But I also don't like to knock people who want our players to do well. Not that you're trying to do it either, mate, but I'm on the fence about Darwin. I can understand either way. It would have to be the right offer for us to look at, and we'd have to have somebody ready to come in as well. So, yeah, we don't want too much upheaval this summer. Arne Slot can't even help Feyenoord get out of a group stage when the group was pretty easy. And what group was this that was pretty easy? Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Celtic, Feyenoord. And you think that that's a pretty easy group, do you? I don't know what planet you're on if you think that's an easy group. And also, remember, Feyenoord's budget for wages for the year is €25 million. Now compare that to the budgets of bigger clubs that he's competing with. Even compare it to clubs in the Eredivisie. Ajax have a wage budget every year of €40 million. PSV Eindhoven have a wage budget every year of €30 million. So he's overachieved in his own league. He's delivered the league title for Feyenoord. He's delivered the cup for Feyenoord. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't, like, who are you going to be happy with? You know, you can talk about Roberto De Zerbi, but he's won fuck all, especially in Europe or England. Talk about who else was in the mix. Ruben Amorim, well, 2 Portuguese league titles and a cup. You know, didn't exactly win anything in Europe that I'm aware of. So there was always going to be a risk. And there's always going to be an unproven track record. But again, look at Michael Edwards, who we all love and think he's a genius. He started out as an analyst with Portsmouth. You know, imagine I just said to you that the guy who's taking care of Portsmouth statistics is going to be basically running Liverpool Football Club. You just said there's no way he can make the step up. We're too quick to judge. We need to give this person a chance. I don't know if he'll succeed or fail, but I know that not getting behind him is just stupidity. I think Darwin up top on his own would work with him running the channel, having lads in behind. But he needs to have that space, Tony. What we find when we play a lot of teams, is, as I'm sure you're aware, is that they sit with a low block and then there is no space. And that's where the problem has been sometimes with Darwin or other forwards. You know, it's great if teams go toe-to-toe with us and we have space to exploit in behind. But when teams come and sit low with a low block against us, then what do you do with Darwin? You know, we can pump balls into the 18-yard box, but he's hardly prolific aerially. So, you know, I don't know all the answers, by the way. I'm just, I guess, playing devil's advocate here. Striker like Lautaro Martinez, Victor Gyökeres, Victor Boniface are the ones we need. Keep Nunez, buy a new left back, Trent in the centre, and find a Mo replacement. So for me, in the transfer market, I'd like us to bring in a defensive midfielder, a forward, a wide forward, and a full-back, because I'd sell Costas. So that's my quick little scoot around the squad and what I'd like to see happen. So we have left this poll running for almost 20 minutes now. We've nearly had 2,500 votes on it. And we said, should Darwin Nunez be sold this summer? And I don't recall having many votes as close as this, but 51% say yes, he should be sold this summer, and 49% say no, he shouldn't be sold this summer. You can't get much closer than that. So you can see why this is dividing opinion in the fan base, because we are genuinely divided on it. And I'm right in the middle. As I've said all the way through, I don't know what the answer is. Which player do you want to see at Liverpool? I've got to be honest and say that now that the centre-back situation isn't going to be a back three and we're going to play with a back four, I'm not sure who the best centre-back is going to be. I still like Inacio on the left side of our defence. We need somebody to be able to, if Virgil stays, we need somebody to be able to rotate and compete with him. But who would I like? One player. I'm trying to think of our system, how we're playing now. Probably Jamal Musiala, but we ain't getting him. Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz are two I'd love. With regards to wide players, I've said Somerville to you guys before because I know he's somebody that Liverpool are looking at, but I understand people go, Somerville from Leeds, what? I wouldn't mind Elise or Neto if we could figure out that their injuries are a temporary thing. Don't know enough about Bakayoko to know if he'd be good enough or not, but he's highly thought of. I don't think that we'll ever see Nico Williams make the move from Bilbao over to the Prem. And for fullbacks, I really haven't got a clue, is the honest answer. Tony Miller, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC, mate. Aiton Uri's a good shout. I like this list here from Trevor. He said, Nuri, Isak, Musiala, Frimpong. I don't think we need Frimpong because we have Bradley. I don't think we need him. Inacio would transform our club with Salah and Darwin money. The one I've seen actually linked with Frimpong most would be Manchester United, but again, I don't know how credible that is or not. Kudus would be a good shout as well, yes. Kudus definitely. Do you know what the one I feel like we missed out on? If I'm being really, really honest with you, if I look back to last summer and I feel a player we were linked with that we missed out on, I really do feel like Van de Ven is one that got away. I know he's had an injury at Spurs this season, or an injury plagued sort of the first season at times, but I really do like him and I think he would have been a good fit for us. And I think he's fond of Liverpool as well, but Spurs went in and got the job. Or got the player signed, I should say. Next Gen Jack said, I feel that Slot will give some of the players a chance and we'll see players like Darwin leave in January or in the summer next summer. Well, yeah, we also have to take into account that this season's going to be a shortened window because players have international tournaments and they still need their holiday. So it's going to be even more difficult to get transfer business done. You're probably going to see a lot of stuff happen early. Do you think our Dutch players are going to show off? Is Darwin more of a shadow striker? Our Dutch players are going to show off? I don't know what you mean by that. By the way, congratulations to Cody Gakpo and his wife. Baby Samuel, born healthy and well. Jurgen announced that one earlier on, that all is good, mother and baby are well. So congratulations to Cody and his wife. And welcome to the world, little Samuel. Definitely going to get behind Slot, but I can't lie, I was hoping for Amram because of the idea of radical new system, so we become less predictable. So there is pros to that, but there's also cons to it, Corey, because you've got to look at the playing personnel in the squad, you've got to look at changing that system, bringing in the personnel for the system, getting players used to the system. It's quite a big overhaul when you consider that Liverpool, from the academy all the way up, have a structure of football in the way we like to play, or the way Jurgen set the club up, and that structure is based off of 4-3-3. So I can see why they didn't want that much upheaval. As I said, yesterday was a big day for me when I read out some of these things, and I'm actually going to find them in my notes again so I can go back over them with you guys. But there was two posts yesterday in particular that very quickly made me realise why Liverpool were looking at Arne Slot. One sec. Where is this? Playing catch up on my own notes here from yesterday. Or was it the day before? I think it was yesterday. One sec, folks. Lots and lots and lots of notes to go through here. What's that one? No, I don't think I have them anymore. Nope, I don't. It was notes from basically Melissa Reddy saying why Liverpool looked at Arne Slot, and then there was a post from I think a United fan account speaking about him as well. Yeah, sorry. So, slightly off track, but to get back to transfers for a second. This came in from Fabrizio Romano, who said Tosin Adarabioyo will leave Fulham as a free agent at the end of the season, and he's already informed the club of that decision. Previous reports have linked Liverpool with a move for the defender, and it's one to keep an eye on. So do keep an eye on him. So Tosin Adarabioyo, the defender from Fulham, will be leaving Fulham on a free at the end of the season. Then another report said Barcelona are interested in signing Liverpool forward Darwin Nunez, but again, you got to wonder where on earth they get the money for that. I want Nunez to stay. I think he's going to come good, said Darwizzi. Slot is no puppy for Edwards and Hughes. Give him a break. Yeah, what I can't understand is people who are unwilling to give him an opportunity. I can understand anybody that's concerned or anyone that has reservations about where he's coming from or his background, but I don't understand why you won't give him a chance. Like, just don't write him off until we know what he's about, you know? Believe, basically. Darwin's form is poor, but people seem to forget he's the current top scorer in South American World Cup qualifiers. Let Mr. Slot unlock the beast. Right, so I'm not going to debate what you've said, but what I will say to you is that's no use to us. With all due respect, I get what you're saying, and you're right, and Bielsa has been able to unlock Darwin, but what he does for Uruguay, other than maybe the confidence he brings back from it, is not much use to us. Kevin, give me a minute, Kevin, before you say I missed your super chat. I'm still working through others, but I got it here for you, don't worry. What do you think of bringing Jimenez, Feyenoord striker? So, I mentioned somebody threw his name around yesterday. I don't know much about him. Somebody said he scored like 50 goals in 2 seasons or something like that, Kevin, at Feyenoord. So, I don't know. I've seen players come in from the Eredivisie who've been brilliant, and I've seen players who've come in and stung the gaff up. So, I don't know what the correct answer is on that one. The academy plays the same way all the way through to the first team. So, do you remember when I've spoken to you guys a lot about sporting directors? And I've spoken about the philosophy of football all the way through a football club, and why sporting directors are probably, after the manager, the most important people at the club. This is why. Liverpool have, under Jurgen Klopp, put that philosophy in place, exactly as said there as well, about the way we play going all the way through. So you're bringing young players in, you're coaching them in the Liverpool way. And the plan is that if indeed you do make a change, this is why sporting directors are important. If a coach change is made, the system shouldn't change throughout the rest of the structure, knowing that the players coming through are all being bred to play in a certain way and in a certain philosophy, and that if a coach changes, the structure protects the rest of the club and that the philosophy remains the same, or somewhat the same. So, apparently Transfermarkt somehow have Alisson valued at about 32 million euro. Now, there's not a hope in hell that Alisson Becker is leaving Liverpool Football Club if he does leave Liverpool Football Club for 32 million euro. Not a chance. He's only 31. He's got at least 6 or 7 more years left at the top level as a keeper. So, nah. If and I don't want him to go, but if he ever does leave, it's got to be for a substantially higher number than his valuation there on Transfermarkt. Nunez is not for sale. Okay then, sure, because you said so. Well then, I'll let them know. Sure, I'm the new gaffer, so you can tell me direct. Congrats, said Johan. Yeah, thanks, mate. I don't know why you're congratulating me personally. It's because I look like Slot, but I'll take it. I'll take any congratulations. I feel Carvalho's going to get game time and he's doing great at Hull City, said Dennis. I would imagine he'll get looked at in pre-season, mate. No doubt about that. Would I have Cole Palmer? I don't know, but it's pointless me wasting my mental energy thinking about it, Robbie. He's not coming to Liverpool, so more important stuff tonight, mate, to be going through than hypotheticals around Cole Palmer. So for those coming in a bit late, where we're at is that Liverpool have agreed a fee with Feyenoord for €9 million according to Paul Joyce, plus €2 million in add-ons, and that was the last stumbling block in Liverpool announcing Arne Slot as the new coach. Fabrizio Romano has said that he will be announced as the new coach, succeeding Jurgen Klopp at the end of the season. And I'm happy we have clarity. Nico Williams has a release clause of £45 million that is ready to leave Bilbao this summer. Perfect Salah replacement. When you say ready, Pranav, what do you mean by ready? From a footballing perspective, or from he's ready to up sticks and move perspective? And what I read about Nico Williams was that he was settled in Bilbao. The family were settled. Obviously, there's his brother Iñaki there at Bilbao as well. But I don't know. Maybe he moves. Is there a language barrier with him? With Arne Slot? No, he speaks perfect English. To be fair, I've not met a Dutch person that doesn't speak English. Maybe I've just been lucky, but Dutch people seem to have a very, very, very good amount with a second language, and I've certainly heard Arne Slot speaking English, so yes, we're all good on that front. Robbie said, I believe Slot will bring Liverpool great things to what kind of squad Liverpool has. So the most concerned I am about this summer is the transfer budget. That's what worries me the most, because our owners are cheap. They are cheap. And this cannot be a summer where we expect Arne Slot to cover up some of the deficiencies in the same way Jurgen Klopp has been able to do it over the years. If our owners really want us to compete and keep winning trophies, then they've got to start backing managers a bit more thoroughly. And yes, some cleverness, some training of players already at the club, progression of youth team players, all that's great. But every now and again, you've got to just go out there and just get it right and spend. And we dicked around last year trying to get Caicedo, didn't work out. Ended up that we brought in Endo. Endo's done a job, no denying that, but I still feel like we need some certainty in the centre of the park. I think, almost feel like we've got too many number 8s at the club to some extent as well. I'm very concerned about where we're at with Curtis Jones' form again. Szoboszlai, a bit less concerned, because I think it's his first season at Liverpool. So, I think there's better days to come from Szoboszlai. But Jones seems to have reverted back to the Jones that most of us were frustrated with. What would you consider a success in Slot's 3 years? Minimum expectation is qualification for the Champions League every year in those 3 years. After that, it really is hard to know what's realistic, because Arsenal aren't going to sit in their hands this summer. It looks like they may finish second to Manchester City unless City slip up somewhere. So they're going to want to try and put that right again and continue to make that progression and that next step. So I've no doubt they're going to go and spend. And they've been linked with Bruno Guimaraes at one point, who's going to cost probably 100 million. And they've been linked with a striker as well. We know Manchester City aren't going to sit in their hands unless they're relegated. There was something on that today, though. Richard Masters was saying that situation around their charges is progressing. Again, no real clarification there, though. Abdullah said, buzzing for Slot. Do you think we still need a DM? I do, Abdullah, mate. Yes. Look, I think in Stefan Bajcetic we have a great footballer. Could play in a 6, could play in an 8. We'll wait and see. But I feel like now, yes, we should go out there and bring in another number 6. A really, really top caliber 23, 24-year-old number 6. Do you think Slot plays Trent at right back? Time for a change? I hope not. One thing that encouraged me about the idea of Slot's system is that if we played a 4-2-3-1, I feel far more comfortable with Trent in midfield in that system if he's part of the 2. At right back, no. I'd rather Conor Bradley plays at right back and Trent goes into one of the midfield positions, one of the 2 deeper midfield positions. That will be my preference, but I don't know what Arne Slot is going to be thinking about that. Will you take Gavi or Pedri for Darwin? Yes. Thank you. Or Frankie de Jong, although his wages could be a concern. Sell Darwin, Salah and Tsimikas. Bring in Diaby, Joelinton, Balde, and find a solid striker to bring up to top level. Well, Joelinton's about to sign a new deal, or has signed a new deal at Newcastle, so he'll be staying put there. Diaby, not seeing anything linking us with him, and Balde, don't know. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents, mate. I don't know the situation there. I don't know much about Balde at all, to be honest with you. If you're not 100% back in Slot, you're an absolute miserable clown and shouldn't watch football. Give him a chance. Where's the rest of this? Give him a chance and don't write him off before he's even started. Yes, I agree. give him a chance. This is a bare minimum that he should be given. Right, we are only 144 likes away from 1,000. So remember, every time you hit the like button, Arne Slot's guaranteeing you another goal. And by Arne Slot, I mean me. So yes, do hit the subscribe button. Do hit the like button. And don't forget as well, tickets are on sale for our live shows in Dublin and Belfast. What have we got? Do you think Dan's is a future captain? No. I mean, we're getting way, way ahead of ourselves on Jayden Dan's there. Let the kid just get to be a regular player first before we start talking about future captains and all. Like, we're a way away from putting that type of pressure on his shoulders. You know, I just want him to progress at the right speed and, you know, us not rush him or put too much expectation on his shoulders. Am I happy with Adidas making a return? Very much so, Glenn, yes. Over the moon. One more year of this Nike dross and then back to the 3 stripes. Yes, I'm delighted, mate. Especially when I've seen the state of the kits for next season. Do I still have a discount code for Manscaped? Yes, I do indeed, Edward. Anfield 20, all one word. Anfield 20. So Anfield 20. And that gets you 20% off and free shipping. What's your favourite humming noise? Come on now. You know the answer is going to be wife and down there. Come on. I'm trying to not be crass because we've got young people watching, but hum. As a Mexican fan, I would like Slot to bring Santi Jimenez, said Bafil. Loads of people have thrown his name around, mate, and I don't know anything about him, other than somebody said he scored 50 goals in 2 seasons or something like that. Leeds lost 4-0. Oh my God. So Leicester promoted back to the Premier League after Leeds were beaten 4-0. That's mental. I know they'd gone 1-0 down before I started the stream, but 4-0 to QPR. Wow. That's, wow. That's, I want Leeds to come up, you know. I like Leeds because we both hate Manchester United, so we all have that in common. And I've always had good times when I've met Leeds fans. They've always been sound. Good laugh. Good time with the Josh Warrington fight as well. Yeah, I hope Leeds do get up, but wow, I didn't think they'd be beaten 4-0 by QPR. Nunez works hard for the team. Strikers have a good day and a bad day. Yeah, but it's not a day, mate. It's a while. It's a season at this point, or half a season. If the fans just appreciate his work off the ball, but his work off the ball is not what he's paid for. I feel like we're starting to just make excuses for him now. He's paid to put the ball in the back of the net, and we paid €100 million to make sure that he puts the ball in the back of the goddamn net. And with all due respect, the other stuff that you're talking about is not going to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he's paid to do. And we went through this. We went through this earlier on, and we said his XG is shocking. In 2 seasons in the Premier League, he scored 20 goals from an XG of 27.8. He's underperforming what he's expected to score by, 40%? So, there's been optimistic and there's just been deluded. And, we can say we want him to do well, but let's not say that he's doing all these other great stuff and he's paid to put the ball in the net. He's a striker. What about Grimaldo for left back? Okay, 2 things on that. One, like Leverkusen aren't going to look to sell their players. 2, he's 28, I think, so he's too old. And also, I don't know what to make of Luke Chambers. I know he's really highly thought of at the club, but I don't know if we'll see him progress in the next year or so. Is XG a good stat? Yes. It's what you're expected to score from the chances you've had. So he's been expected, or on average would be expected to score 27.8 goals, and he scored 20. So he's underperforming what would be average for the chances he's had. I can't believe I'm not going to talk about somebody else. I don't care about other content creators, Fraser. I'm not even going to mention them by name anymore. I don't think he has the mental aptitude to be a top striker, said Dave. Always wanting to hit the ball at 100,000 kilometers an hour is not clever. I know. And I hate listening to Michael Owen, but he's talked a lot of sense on Darwin Nunez when he was speaking recently about he's just not even doing the right things when he gets into these chances. Like, as you said, you don't always have to put the laces through it. Sometimes you can just pass the ball into the net, and he doesn't seem to have that ability to caress the ball. How would I feel about Somerville? So, I don't know, is the honest answer, because I don't know much about Somerville, other than he seemed to have scored a few goals for Leeds this year. But he is certainly somebody Liverpool are interested in. Whether that interest moves on further, I don't know. But there was something here today. 1 second. Bear with me. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes because I've got something here in my notes about that. Where is it? So, this came in and said, Arne Slot is wild about Somerville from Leeds. That was posted by Anfield Sector. So, there is chatter, and I brought his name up to you guys yesterday before these stories started to break and told you that he was somebody Liverpool were looking at. I don't know if he's going to be good enough or not, nor do I know if we put in a bid or not. Sub Craig, I really want Todd Bowley out. I know, mate, you're in every day, consistent as you like, saying you want Bowley out. I don't blame you. I've said it to you all along, mate. I don't blame you. So, we just need 5 more likes to get us over the 1,000 likes on the stream, my friends. So, look, I think we've worked through pretty much everything we can work through tonight, unless there's other stuff you guys want me to cover. But basically, where we're at is Liverpool have agreed a compensation fee with Feyenoord for Arne Slot. That fee is going to be €9 million plus €2 million in add-ons. He's going to bring his assistant manager with him, and also he is going to bring one of their data analysts, I think it is, the head of performance, with him as well. And he will be the next Liverpool manager. After that, I guess we start talking transfers, we start talking tactically what he looks like, and what I would say to everybody is, like I've said all the way through this stream, if you agree with the appointment or you don't agree with the appointment, I hope at least we get behind him and give him an opportunity, because he looks like he really wants the job. He looks like he's excited at the possibility, and I'm excited to get behind him and wish him the best. Tony Smith said, been saying Kilman for 2 seasons now, but price will be higher with others' interest. Really good leader as well, and I think he's a Liverpool fan. We'd also been linked with ENQUIRIES quite a bit from Wolves. When is Slot's appointment? Well, they've just agreed the fee tonight on the compensation, so I don't know when the contract will be signed, but we're done at this point. Fabrizio's given the here we go. Paul Joyce has talked about it being agreed and done. Melissa Reddy's the same. It's done. It's just going to be a matter of when it becomes official from the club side, and I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the club will wait till the end of the season until Jurgen's officially finished, or if they want to do it beforehand, let it die down, and then give Jurgen the big goodbye. I don't know the correct answer, but we know who the next manager is. Colwell said Ian Greenstreet. So there was a post the other day that said if Chelsea do indeed look to cash in on Levi Colwell, that Liverpool would be interested. That's all I can tell you on Colwell. Do I think Pochettino will get the sack soon? No, I don't. I feel like the players are still playing for Pochettino. At least That's the news coming out of the Chelsea side of things. I didn't realise that him, and I think he's the second highest paid manager in the Premier League after Pep Guardiola. Do you think Slot might be at the game tomorrow? No. I feel like that would be just undermining Klopp having him there. So no, would be my guess on that one. What are your thoughts on the Nunez to Barcelona links? I don't know where Barca get the money from, first and foremost. Secondly, I'm still on the fence about what I think the best thing to do is. We had a poll earlier on in the chat and it had like 2,000 votes on it, and it was 51% said that they would sell Darwin Nunez this summer, 49% said that they wouldn't sell Darwin Nunez this summer. I think you'd have to look at what the offer was. And of course, what Darwin and the new manager wants. I would imagine if Barcelona did want them, that there would probably be an offer of an exchange, because I don't think they'd have the cash. But even at that, I don't know. I'm more worried about the Alisson situation that I was speaking about earlier on. You know, there's a lot of chatter now that maybe Alisson is going to look for a way out. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope it isn't, but let's wait and see. Actually, before we finish up, I want to stick up one more poll. One more poll, because I think this is an important one. Right, real quick, if Alisson was to leave, big if I know, if Alisson was to leave, would you be happy with Queevy and Kelleher stepping up to be the number one? Real Madrid won the game against Real Sociedad 1-0. Do you think João Pedro is a good option for Liverpool? I like João Pedro. He's had a very good campaign with Brighton. He's had some injuries, if I remember correctly. But I don't know if he'd be a great fit for us or not. That's the honest answer. I don't know. But he is a good player. Get Mannion if Ali leaves. Isn't Mannion kind of 31, 32 though? I don't think he's a young keeper. What time does your stream start tomorrow? 11:30, Terence. 11:30 a.m. I hate these half 12 games. But yeah, we'll be starting an hour beforehand, so stream will start at 11:30 a.m. We can't just play Kelleher all the time. Nobody said we were going to. I mean, some weird reactions to questions like, obviously if Alisson left and Kelleher got promoted, the club would be bringing in the number 2. Whether that's that kid, is it Patterson or Pattinson from some Sunderland? Maybe, I don't know. But of course we'd have to bring in another keeper. No doubts about that. If Kelleher's promoted to the number 1, of course we'd need to bring in the number 2. I'm not excited by Slot coming to Liverpool. I don't think he can compete against Guardiola. Yeah, but hopefully they get relegated down to non-league, so we don't have to worry about it. And also, it looks like Guardiola is going to leave in a year's time. That's been some of the chatter coming out of the Manchester side, that Guardiola will depart when his contract's up at the end of next year. But we'll wait and see if they're relegated first. Well done on the promotion. Thank you. It's an honour to be the next Liverpool manager. It really is. And I'm going to be going balls out attacking. And yeah, the handsome factor is going through the roof. What do you think of Luis Guilherme, the 18-year-old from Brazil that Liverpool are linked with? So he's the Palmeiras winger. Definitely been linked with him. I think Fabrizio Romano said that Liverpool are keeping an eye on him as well. I think there's other English clubs who've been linked with him. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and claim to watch Palmeiras week in and week out. We talked about him yesterday on the stream. I think I still have my notes on him here. 1 second. Where is it? There it is, yeah. So Transfer Sector put out a post yesterday that said Liverpool have made an offer of €20 million for Palmeiras winger Luis Guilherme, which has been rejected. The Brazilian club are in no rush and feel that they can get closer to €50 million. Other than that, mate, I don't know much. I don't know much about it. What will happen to Ben Doak and Carvalho? Like I've said all the way through, the LFC pundit, I would expect that they'd be given pre-season and they'd be looked at by the new coach. You know, you expect if a new manager comes in that everybody is going to get a chance to impress, and then they'll make the decision. That's I think, the honest answer to it. At least it's the most rational answer I can think of. Tony Smith, thank you, mate, for the super chat. You didn't put a comment in, but thank you. I can understand Ali leaving when he's won all and it's the end of an era. Yeah, I could understand it because I think he's always had a like to go to Madrid. Now, I don't know if Real Madrid are going to come in for Alisson. I don't know what the Courtois situation is. I don't know anything about any specifics of where Alisson may go, or even if he is going to go. All I can say is that there has been chatter today from people who have gotten quite a bit of stuff right, and they believe that there's an issue there. I don't know after that. But remember when we signed him, he was linked to Real Madrid at that time as well. Fidget said, from what I know, Colwill is untouchable at the minute. It wouldn't surprise me. But what I would say is, you guys are going to have to free up some cash in the summer. And Academy products, as I'm sure you're well aware, are all profit. So there have been links to the likes of Gallagher and a few others moving. But I also know that last summer, Colwill was tied down to a new deal. So not surprised to hear you say that he might be untouchable. I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't want to get rid of him. I'd get Areola in from West Ham as a backup. Maybe. As long as it's not Adrian, that's okay. Sell Salah for 100 million. Use that money for Palmer. And what world do you think that Chelsea are going to sell Cole Palmer? He's their star. You know, they're not going to sell Cole Palmer. Sparta Prague right back. Preciado would be a good signing. I don't know anything about him. Jamie May, no idea. Craig, the problem with Pep leaving is that I wouldn't be surprised if Amorim replaces him at Man City. Fair enough, but he's not Pep. You know, if you said to me right now, who do you want managing Manchester City, Guardiola or Amorim, I'm saying I'm far less concerned with anyone whose name isn't Pep Guardiola. What do I think about Elise? I really like Elise, Hasnain. Really like him, but you would have to say there would be a concern around his injuries this season. And I don't know if that's going to be a persistent thing with Elise, but he's a great player, no doubt about that. It's time for Curtis Jones to move on. I've seen a lot of similar posts on a lot of different forums, so I don't think you're alone in that thinking. Have I seen the footage of Slot doing a team talk? Yeah, it was a decent team talk. A lot of people are saying it was like amazing, and it was alright. Like, it was a decent team talk, but you know, a Craig Houlden team talk would put that team talk to shame. I can promise you that much. It was a good team talk. Yeah, he seems like he's an affable, nice guy, and who gets on well with his players. Daniel Malin. Don't know if interest persists in Daniel Malin, Hassan, but certainly interest has stayed there since he signed from Eindhoven to Dortmund. We've certainly kept tabs on him. Same with Eddie Amy. Will Gakpo get more time under Slot? I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine so. Need to see you, Craig, as a manager for the charity game or something, just to draw the slot comparisons. I've always said it, mate. If that day comes where I do a charity game as a manager, you'll get a viral speech. None of this silly nonsense I've seen in other ones. You'll get a proper pre-match speech. Right, look, I'm going to go and get some rest before tomorrow's early start. But we will see you guys at 11:30 tomorrow morning for Liverpool's game against West Ham. We're going to be starting nice and early, so make sure you're there with us. We'll give you more information on the slot situation as well. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Have a wonderful Friday night, and I will catch you bright and early tomorrow for the West Ham game. Much love. Thank you very much. Don't forget to drop a like before you head off and subscribe if you haven't done so. Cheers, folks. Talk to you.